On this episode of OFallon Matters, meet a group of furry friends that bring comfort where there's pain. Then get to know a dedicated O'Fallon police sergeant on this month's OFallon Matters profile. Plus, see why this all-inclusive playground was just named one of the best parks in the country. All this and more next on OFallon Matters. Welcome to this episode of OFallon Matters. Our first story features an organization that helps cancer patients through their therapy with the help of loving dogs. Let's meet some of these inspirational dogs and their volunteer owners.
Dogs are often known as man's best friend. And over the years, they have provided their owners with emotional support along with companionship. According to WebMD, spending quality time with a dog can have positive impact on your mood and health. In fact, dogs can be a calming stress fighter. Support Dogs Incorporated is a nonprofit organization that provides the metro area with highly skilled support dogs that are making people's lives better in a number of different ways. The Touch program was started in 1989 and provides pet visits to local medical facilities. And each support dog is trained to provide pet-assisted therapy visits to patients undergoing chemotherapy.
For the patients, when you're sitting here and you're getting stuck, which hurts, and we're giving you drugs that make you sick, which doesn't feel good, or they're just in pain in general, and then you have a little goofy dog that comes up and smiles and you get to pet them, it makes them relax and makes them happier. And because we care for our patients, we want to give them the best, we're of course going to try to provide anything that helps them with that.
All patients like to talk about their dogs that they had, and so it gets their mind off of stuff. I've heard dog stories for 10 minutes, but while they're talking to me, they're forgetting about what they're going through with cancer.
During a touch visit, dogs and their handlers walk around the medical facility providing kisses and smiles. And for the patients, it provides a nice change-up from their normal therapy routine.
Well, this kind of treatment is a little unnatural, as you might expect. So having the dogs around is a nice reminder that brings you back to normalcy, puts a smile on your face, kind of distracts you from the process that's going on. So the dogs are awesome.
I get an immediate smile on my face right off the bat when they're coming in. I'm a dog lover, so it's hard to not give them a little pat. It takes a normal day to a better little moment to have,
The dogs intuitively have a way of connecting with people, and they enjoy being petted. People enjoy reaching out, touching, petting, and enjoying giving love and the interaction that happens. It's terrific to see.
One of the dogs, named Maddie, has a distinctive qualification for being in the program. Maddie is a cancer survivor herself. And even some of the volunteer handlers have faced and conquered cancer.
I can speak from first-hand experience. I'm a two-time cancer survivor myself, and I've been in that chair. And I remember when the dogs came through for me, I was in a really funk when I was going through my radiation, and these dogs brought me out of that and gave me a goal to pay it forward and come back and bring some joy and give back.
The Touch program is not breed specific. To qualify, all dogs must complete and pass a temperament evaluation before training starts. If you're interested in more information about Support Dog Inc.'s Touch program, you can go to www.supportdogs.org/program/touch.
The City of O'Fallon recently completed work on a 2 million gallon water storage tank. Let's find out why this is good for the residents.
Water is something we don't spend a lot of time thinking about. When you turn on the hose to wash your car, prepare dinner for your family, or just flip on the tap and grab a glass of water, you probably aren't wondering about the journey your water has taken to get to you. Sure, bottled waters put mountains and glaciers on the label to evoke images of pristine alpine springs, but the water we're most familiar with comes from our municipal sources.
And don't let the fancy packaging fool you. No bottle of water is better regulated, more protected, or safer than municipal water sources like O'Fallon's. It's a simple fact that this is often much better than this. And now, O'Fallon has completed a major project that will make our drinking water even better.
With the cutting of this ceremonial ribbon, O'Fallon was proud to unveil our massive new ground storage tank, located at the water treatment plant in North O'Fallon. This water storage tank greatly enhances our city's water capacity and will support O'Fallon's growth for decades to come.
Municipal water service is something people tend to take for granted, and here in O'Fallon they can do so because our city is doing a great job of providing clean water at the turn of the tap to our residents and businesses. Our new 2 million gallon water storage tank will help us meet our city's need for water today and in the future. In addition to maintaining our ability to deliver clean water to our residents, the new technology expects to save the city up to 200,000 gallons of water daily.
That's a big savings in water, but that's not all this water storage tank will do for us. Our enormous tank took only 2 weeks to complete and stores enough water to do 900,000 loads of laundry every day. In fact, this tank could fill the Renaud Spirit Center's pool 16,000 times every year. But quantity wasn't the only thing we were targeting. This is also the best water our municipal water treatment plant has ever produced. Its construction was complemented by a number of enhancements to our treatment plant's capabilities, and we now have 6 additional deep wells, high service pumps, and over 161 miles of new iron and PVC distribution lines.
We constructed the new 2 million gallon water tank because we needed to meet more of the demands of the city. And by constructing it here at the plant, we have the ability to produce more water here at the plant as opposed to the wells, to store it here and to be able to have extra water on hand in case of emergencies. And we also added a new high service pump in the pump room to increase capacity pumping to town.
Projects like this are part of the reason O'Fallon is rated one of America's best places to live year after year. Our water is already highly rated by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, and water produced at this plant will improve on those stellar scores. Want to know what's next for O'Fallon's infrastructure? You can see how your hometown is growing by visiting the City Projects page, located on the city's website. Once there, you can learn more about road projects, parks projects, and water infrastructure projects like this water storage tank. Water is something you might take for granted, but it's something that's always on the mind of our water plant operators and technicians.
This O'Fallon Park was listed as one of the best parks in America for all kids in 2015. Joe Meyer has more.
Bright colors, friendly bugs, and a huge mushroom describe some of the fun features at O'Fallon's premier all-inclusive playground. The playground was named after Brendan Schmidt, a Westhoff Elementary School student who suffers from Thompson syndrome, a rare genetic disease that makes it difficult for him to use traditional playground equipment. And now, Brendan's Playground has been recognized as one of the country's 15 favorite playgrounds of 2015 by the website Play Across America.
And that's really exciting. Obviously, the residents here in O'Fallon know and love it, but this way other people can see what kind of amenities we have here in O'Fallon and maybe bring their families out as well to enjoy Brendan's Playground.
According to Play Across America, Brendan's Playground goes above and beyond in providing equipment that allows children of all abilities to play and interact with other children. In fact, the website hailed the playground as exciting and stimulating for children of all abilities.
To me, this is a culmination of a whole lot of people working together, whether it was unlimited play and city staff and our whole city employees. It's a culmination of what was needed in the city. It was for any kid of any ability to be able to come out and be able to enjoy themselves.
It's awesome. This playground was truly a community event, and to be recognized then as one of the 15 most popular playgrounds in the nation, it's just a great feeling.
The playground incorporates ADA accessible ramps connecting several areas. There's steel slides that are suitable for children with cochlear implants. Kids can enjoy a variety of swings, plus there's musical instruments on which kids can improvise tunes. And finally, patrons can enjoy a large splash pad where kids can jump around in the water on those hot summer days. If you would like to take your family to Brendan's Playground for a day of fun at one of the best playgrounds in the country, you'll need to head to Westhoff Park, located directly off T.R. Hughes Boulevard on the north side of O'Fallon. And don't forget, you can also visit O'Fallon's Parks and Recreation website at www.o'fallon.mo.us/parksandrec.
It's time for a break. When we come back, we'll meet a police sergeant who has dedicated his career to the residents of our city. Then we'll catch up with OFallonTV's Brett Figgis to get the scoop on the Animal Control Division. You're watching OFallon Matters. Welcome back to OFallon Matters. This month's OFallon Matters profile features an O'Fallon police sergeant who provides outstanding service to our residents. He also volunteers his time so that Special Olympic athletes might realize their dreams. Let's meet Sergeant Jeff Cook.
O'Fallon Police Sergeant Jeff Cook is a man of integrity, dedication, and honor. Over the years, he has made his mark by giving back to the community he loves. Jeff was raised in St. Charles County, and he attended Fort Zumwalt North High School, where he graduated in 1989. From there, he joined the U.S. Navy and proudly served from 1991 through 1993. But for Jeff, a career in law enforcement was something he always wanted to do from the time he was a little kid.
I can recall back at Halloween and some other times, police officers patrolling our neighborhood, kind of what we call community-oriented policing these days, and driving around with the window down and basically welcoming kids up to the vehicles, letting you kind of peek in the window, look at some of the equipment, and just creating a very positive interaction between kids and the local police department.
Sergeant Cook began working for the City of O'Fallon's police department back in 1999. Jeff was assigned to the Community Service Division, where he learned about Special Olympics Missouri from his supervisor, Ray Tiny Sanders. And ever since Jeff sold his first law enforcement torch run t-shirt, he was hooked. In fact, Sergeant Cook was the only officer from Missouri chosen to represent our great state in the final leg of the USA World Games torch run in sunny California.
The Special Olympics International held an event that allowed the community across the country to get involved called the Unified Relay. And it was 45 days of 3 torches simultaneously traveling across the country. But once those 3 torches came together in Los Angeles, they again lit a single torch, held that flame, and waited for the 90 police officers from around the world to show up. We had officers representing 48 states and 23 countries as part of the final leg torch run. With our support team that it took to really make all that work, there were 124 police officers total on the journey. The bus that I was on, we were doing about 4 to 5 PR events a day where we were going into cities that we were conducting torch runs, very similar to what we hold each year here in the spring before our own summer games, and running the torch through towns and creating awareness, creating a celebratory feel, and getting people aware that these games were significant and they were going to be coming to Los Angeles in just a week's time. And then to stand there, and we had the opportunity to be in the tunnel before we had to go out and participate in our part of the opening ceremonies, to have the athletes filing past us, and kids and adults from countries all over the place just elated and wanting to give you high fives, and we were trying to get to them as much as they were trying to get to us.
Jeff has worked in several O'Fallon police divisions over the years. He served as an SRO at his alma mater, Fort Zumwalt North. And during his time there, he mentored students and also coached football. Now, Jeff is a patrol sergeant where he leads a team of dedicated officers.
It's been a fantastic, fantastic opportunity to see police work in a little different light. My role out on calls, my role working along, officers that I've known for years, to be in a different capacity now has been wonderful. And I definitely appreciate the crew that I'm working with right now, because they take care of me and I try to take care of them.
The city of O'Fallon is fortunate to have a public servant like Jeff Cook. He continues to serve Special Olympics with honor, plus he never stops exploring ways to help people through community policing efforts. If you see Sergeant Cook on the road or around town, go ahead and thank him for being a rock-steady leader.
I made a personal choice years ago that I wanted to live and be a part of the community that I worked in. I've always taken great pride in the fact that I live here. It's one of those things, if it's good enough for me to work here and collect a paycheck from the city, and then it's absolutely good enough for me and my family to be here. I have a vested interest in this community by living here, and I think that's what makes it a little bit more important to me.
By following a few simple rules, you can help first responders get to an emergency faster and safer.
When you're driving and you see emergency vehicles with their lights and sirens on, time is of the essence. And now, these courageous first responders need your help, so listen up.
We see a lot of situations where people with the ambulance, and maybe to a lesser degree fire personnel, will tell you the same thing, that people just really don't seem to know what to do when they see us coming up behind them, and either stay driving in the lane that they're in, or they'll slow down but not move over, or really just kind of continue about their business. You really never know what you're going to get.
Jasper and Pat Vitale know all too well about the issues that EMS face when trying to get patients care in emergencies. You see, Pat was found unconscious by Jasper, and that's when Kelly from the St. Charles County Ambulance District came to Pat's rescue. Once Pat was lifted into the ambulance, they were on their way to St. John's Mercy when they ran into a difficult situation that first responders often experience.
And we started going down the highway, and it's so frustrating and so hard to understand that she would come right up to people's bumper and still refuse to move over. And the driver was really frustrated because she would honk her big horn. She even take her hand and make a motion, get out of the way, before they finally would give way to let her go by. So they just refused to move. And for the husband, whose wife was close to dead, for me it was really stressful and really hard to handle.
If there's an emergency vehicle coming, you need to pull over to the right and pay attention in the mirror, because there's not always just an ambulance. There's a fire truck, there's police, there's supervisors, there's usually more than one vehicle coming, and I think a lot of people don't realize that as well. So when you do hear or see an emergency vehicle, you need to pull over to the right immediately and let us have the right of way, and make sure that there's not somebody behind us coming. And that's the problem some people do. They'll pull right back over into the left-hand lane, and they can get hit by a police car, fire truck, another ambulance, something. Just need to be a little more aware of who's coming after us.
Next time you're driving down one of the many busy roads here in O'Fallon and the surrounding areas, be sure to pay attention and keep the noise level low in your car. If you hear an emergency vehicle approaching, make sure to slowly pull over to the side of the road. And finally, before re-entering the road, look in all directions, turn on your signal, and gradually merge back into traffic.
Time is muscle. When you're talking an accident or an injury, such as a stroke, the longer it takes us to get to the hospital, the more damage somebody is getting to their brain, to their heart, to their organs. It is important for us to get there as soon as possible so they can get further intervention that we're not able to administer to them. So the longer it takes us, that's the more delay in care they're getting and the more damage that can be done to them overall.
Hopefully Jasper and Pat's story and the tips we gave you today will help you remember that pulling over for emergency vehicles can save the lives of those in the community who protect us and the residents they serve.
Thank you for coming by. We appreciate it.
And,
it's always
we
nice to
appreciate
hear
you.
that. And I'm so glad you're doing well.
Thank you.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Our park rangers do a great deal more than just pick up stray dogs. For our next OFallon Matters story, we're going inside the Animal Control Division.
Meet Melody Bridges. This O'Fallon Ranger patrols our streets and parks, responding to calls about animals of all shapes and sizes. Our rangers are here, first and foremost, for the safety of O'Fallon citizens. Working alongside the health department, these officers control feral animals and help with domestic animal issues. They're also here for the safety of the animals themselves, responding to health and wellness checks and reuniting lost pets with their grateful owners.
A regular day for animal control has a lot to do with the weather. If it's going to be a very cold day, there's going to be more welfare checks in regards to animals being left outside, their water being frozen, things like that. We get a lot of more wildlife calls, things making their way into people's homes. On a hot summer day, like what it is today, we have a lot of welfare checks. And then of course we respond to any kind of a health-related issue for animal bites, and that can just happen all year round. So those come up as a surprise sometimes.
During our ride-along for this OFallon Matters story, we got a great inside look at what our rangers can do. One of our earliest calls involved educating pet owners about dog safety. With the summer heat beating down on O'Fallon, we stopped by to check up on a dog left in a truck while its owner shopped. With a quick-read thermometer, it's obvious just how hot things can get when your pooch is left inside a car. On this 85-degree day, the temperatures reached over 110 degrees inside while we waited, and if given enough time, it could reach as high as 140 degrees. We also returned a sweet little puppy to her owner, prompting an adorable reunion.
You're tramping around neighborhood.
One of our final calls involved rescuing a house cat from a makeshift hiding place and getting the furry feline the medical attention she needed. Melody has really seen it all. In her career, she's handled wild dogs and feral cats, and she's even picked up an alligator running wild in our city. But despite the challenges of the job, she and the rest of our animal control officers perform their jobs with compassion for the people and the animals they encounter.
I think a lot of people choose their profession, and they choose it in ways where it's something you feel good going home at the end of the day. Being an animal control officer certainly does fulfill that for me. I do a lot of things for people. I do a lot of things for animals. I do everything I can on every call, and it's something that just really is satisfying to me to help out others and to help out their pets.
If an O'Fallon citizen has 2 legs or 4, our animal control officers are out there, looking out for their welfare. If you'd like more information about our animal control policies, you can head to our PD website address listed right here on the screen. Remember, if you have a wildlife issue or you notice a dog wandering the streets, our animal control officers are just a phone call away.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you have a good story idea, let us know. You can email us at OFallonTV@OFallon.mo.us. And please remember, give back to your community, because O'Fallon matters to all of us.